Greetings everyone, this is Grant Ellis from Outpost Zero, better known as pfcamygrant. It's an exciting day today. It was announced earlier in the week that the Treason of Saruman would be shipping, and my copy arrived. So what we're going to do is another unboxing video very similar to the Lost Realm video, and what we're going to do is we're going to go in blind, and we're going to open the game, go through the rules very briefly, and then look at the player cards, see what this expansion has to offer. Some of them have been spoiled over the past week since the product had started shipping, and some exciting stuff in there. I haven't really looked at the spoilers again. I like to go in blind and then just sort of see what we get. So let's hop on in. You'll have to forgive the mess. This is my office, not my dining room where I do a lot more of the work. So here we have it. The game box art, still in the shrink wrap, out of the box. Cover art obviously had been spoiled since the expansion was announced, but it's a beautiful picture. You'll see it on some of the blogs like Tales from the Cards. Sometimes he uses it as his background in Octagon. I had posted it to Facebook as soon as it was spoiled. There was a beautiful high quality version, the artist version on Master of Lore's blog. Let's take a look at the back. I haven't read any of this yet, so forgive me for stumbling. So it reads, "Nothing that we have endured of late has seemed so grievous as the treason of Isengard. Even reckoned as a lord and captain, Saruman has grown very strong. He threatens the men of Rohan and draws off their help from Minas Tirith, even as the main blow is approaching from the east." That's said by Gandalf in the Two Towers. The Lord of the Rings Treason of Saruman contains 3 new scenarios that recreate the adventures recorded in the Two Towers, the second part of the epic Lord of the Rings trilogy. Join Aragorn and his companions as they combat treachery of Saruman, race across Rohan in pursuit of the Uruk-hai, fight to defend Helm's Deep, and march alongside the Ents as they attack Isengard itself. In addition to these exciting scenarios, the Treason of Saruman also includes new heroes and player cards that increase the customization options of the game. Basically, just like every expansion, it builds upon the card pool in the living card game. Up here, you can see Shadowfax, who was spoiled earlier in the week. Also, we're going to have Fellowship Aragorn, adding to the many, many flavors of Aragorn. Very excited. I'll to note that there is this QR code, should you want to see what's inside. In living card games, eventually you're going to want to buy all the sets. The order in which you buy the sets is player dependent. I'm really excited, though. I haven't even begun to scratch the surface of the Lost Realm, but I'm currently in the middle of a 4-player campaign. You can see these Ents up here, adding to the Ent trait most likely. So let's crack open the box, look at the rules. So the box is out of the shrink wrap now. We're going to carefully remove the top. No advertisement on the top. Last one had the Black Riders. It advertised the voice of Isengard in the back. And so it has some flavor text. Let's just thumb through real quick and see if there's any new rules or anything. Obviously, it emphasizes campaign mode, boons and burdens, these things. Ooh, beyond all hope, attached to a hero. Interesting. As you see, that Beyond All Hope card most likely attributes itself to, when Gandalf's valiant sacrifice. Perhaps there is a way to bring back a fallen character. So, they let us know about the Fellowship Sphere Aragorn. They let us know how Aragorn's going to get passed around. Lets us know that we can't use Saruman or Grima as part of our campaign. And I forgive for any choppy filmmaking. I'm handling this independent. Don't see any new game turns right off the bat. It looks like there's going to be pursuit values and trackers. You take an extra threat tracker, set it to 10 because of pursuit tracker, and then it looks like you're going to be hunting down Uruk-hai. At the end of the last campaign mode, some characters were taken captive. There's a wizardry trigger, so that's new. Defense is a new keyword that appears in several of the quest stages of Helm's Deep. It represents the army of Saruman laying siege to Helm's Deep in their efforts to capture the fortress. They can't place progress tokens by questing successfully. Instead, the encounter deck tries to place progress on the current quest. If the encounter deck defeats Stage 4B, the army of Saruman captures Helm's Deep and the players lose the game. And Wizardry represents the various spells and machinations that Saruman used to defend Isengard from attack. When a location with the Wizardry trigger leaves play as an explore location, triggers Wizardry effect. Then there's a couple of deck lists. So that's just kind of a brief look at the rules, both in and out of focus. Let's jump into the player card, see what we have. You can see it has Fellowship Aragorn right on the top. Let's get this shrink wrap off of it and go through the cards. Just like our other unboxing video, I'm going to go through the cards. I'm not going to reveal the quest cards or the encounter cards. I'm going to try not to. I'm going to stop when we run into those, so let's start. This card had been spoiled long ago. It's Aragorn, the Dunedain Noble Ranger. First player gains control of Aragorn. If Aragorn leaves play, the players lose the game. And then spend 2 resources from Aragorn's resource pool to ready a hero. That gives you action advantage. That's an excellent effect to have. Let's see who we have next. Theoden, recently spoiled Theoden. Theoden has the Sentinel trait, and you can reduce the cost of the first Rohan ally you play from your hand each round by 1 to a minimum of 0. So a lot of Rohan cards have benefits by leaving play, being discarded, etc. So this helps add some additional mustering by lowering the cost of the cards. The next card is Hero Treebeard. This is really exciting. We can do in Treebeard deck. Treebeard cannot have restricted attachments. Deal 1 damage to Treebeard to give him +1 willpower and +1 attack until the end of the phase. Limit 5 times. He can't have attachments. That's interesting, though. He will combo well with healing cards. And, he's kind of good for Hail Mary passes. His pretty high threat coming out of the gate. Again, he has pretty high threat coming out of the gate. Treebeard, pretty cool hero to see added to the pool. Gotta find a position where I can comfortably read. So, Allied Gimli. Let's look at this guy. Has the Dwarf and Warrior trait, the Sentinel keyword. After an enemy is revealed from the encounter deck, you can ready Gimli. So his action advantage. He has a cost of 4, so he's slightly high cost. If you have Dain Ironfoot or another hero or ally who has Dwarven synergy, he might be useful. It'll be interesting to see what type of decks Gimli ends up in. He's at the leadership sphere, and that sphere tends to have the most resource acceleration as well as some other perks. So let's see what we have next after him. Ally Legolas. Ally Legolas, Sylvan and Warrior trait, doesn't have the Noble trait. Another 4-cost ally, he's ranged, and after Legolas participates in an attack that destroys the enemy, draw 1 card. So he has card draw added to him. I believe his mount is also in this deck, so he'll add both card draw and additional bonuses and progress tokens to questing. I think I may still prefer the hero version of him, but it's good to see perhaps a tactics leadership combo that'll involve Legolas and Gimli. Quick Beam. He's an Ent. He's a new Ent ally. Cannot have restricted attachments. Enters play exhausted. After Quick Beam enters play, deal 1 damage to him to ready him. So, kind of that suicide dive. He can take a point of damage to come into play ready. He's only 2 costs, so he's, for what he adds, 2 willpower, 3 attack, a defense, and a couple of hit points. 2 costs isn't bad. The Ents are pretty powerful right now. Some people feel they're overpowered, and he'll definitely be useful. Let's go over Hama again. Hama
is a 3-cost spirit ally with 1 willpower, 2 attack, 2 defense, 2 hit points. And he also has the combat action that you ready Hama. He gets +3 to his defense to the end of the phase, and at the end of the phase you discard him, limit once per round. Basically, he can be used as an uber blocker, an uber defender. The cost to play him is lowered by Theoden. There's synergy there. Interesting card. Interesting to see how he expands Spirit Rohan and Spirit Rohan options. Next up is Arod, or Arid, Legolas's horse. This card was spoiled this past week. It attaches to Hero Legolas, Hero or Legolas. And then after the attached character participates in an attack that destroys an enemy, exhaust Arod to place 1 progress token on any location. What I like about this mount is it doesn't have the restricted keyword. So it can be comboed with Steed of the Mark or perhaps Rohan Warhorse. And it's quite useful. So we're past the allies. There didn't feel like there were that many of them, and now we're into the attachments. And Arid is the first one. Next up is the Int Drop. It's an item, also has the int keyword. Play only if you control at least 1 int character attached to a character, limit 1 per character. Attached character gets +2 hit points, so quite useful to have. The next card is Herogrim. Herogrim, yes. This is Theoden's sword. In the story, Gandalf gave it to him, said his strength would return to him. Attached to a Rohan hero. Restricted. Reduce the cost to play Herogrim on Theoden by 1. Response: after attached hero is declared as an attacker, exhaust Herogrim to add attached hero's willpower to its attack for the attack. This would actually be a really good card on Eowyn if you want to give her attack boosting. Get her up to Nazgul slaying levels. It also works well on Theoden. Interesting card, interesting attachment. It's kind of cool to see Theoden get his sword, and we'll see how he can be used in this leg of the campaign. Moving on to the event cards now. Int Moot. Play only if you control at least 1 int character. It's a 0-cost event. Search the top 5 cards of your deck for any number of int cards and add them to your hand. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck. So it's a way to muster ints into your hand or tutor them into your hand. In an int-heavy deck, this is definitely a great card to have if you're trying to get them out of your deck and into your hand, where they are most likely more useful. The next card is a 2-cost spirit event, Helm. Play only after resolving enemy attacks. Step is complete. Combat action: exhaust and discard a Rohan ally you control to choose and discard a non-unique enemy engaged with you. So it's a little tit for tat. You can get rid of non-unique enemies by discarding a Rohan ally, and you do it after the enemies have attacked. So it's kind of a trade-off, so to speak. And as some non-unique enemies are quite powerful, this is useful for getting rid of them at possibly a very low cost and maintaining action advantage by reducing their numbers. In fact, it's not necessarily action advantage, it's numerical superiority, numbers advantage, number superiority. Basically demustering their troops. You should probably read on Hall of Beorn if you want probably the more official or technical approach to actual names for strategic advantages. Next event is a 3-cost Fellowship event card. Play only if you control Fellowship Aragorn. It's the 3 Hunters card. Quest action: choose 3 heroes committed to the quest. Ready those heroes until the end of the round. Each of those chosen heroes gets +1 willpower, attack, and +1 defense. So it adds action advantage and readying to your heroes, and also adds buffs to them. Now remember, this is in campaign. You might have a plethora of other buffs as well, such as from your boons, such as Tireless Ranger, Noble Hero, skilled healer, valiant warrior. So this is actually a good way to, I'm not too sure since I haven't seen the encounter cards, the kinds of odds will be up against. But it's always good to get those bonuses, similar to a card like Halfling Determination or Durin's Song. It's always good to get as many boosts as you can circumstantially, and it costs 3 fellowship resources. I'm not too sure what the other fellowship cards are going to be for Fellowship Aragorn. Yeah, it's a good trade-off. It's a good card. The next card is the neutral attachment, recently spoiled mount attachment Shadowfax, and it attaches to Gandalf. Gandalf gains ranged and sentinel, and then you exhaust Shadowfax to ready Gandalf. As previously spoiled, it would be good on the Gandalf ally from Overhill and Underhill, which raises your threat by 2. That way he does not exhaust a quest. You can defend with him and you can attack with him all in one round. Naturally, it'd also be good for Hero Gandalf, and let him share more love with the rest of the board, particularly in regards to those that need maybe some additional attack, maybe some additional defense. It's quite good, and the nice thing about it is it gives Gandalf action advantage. We moved on to the boons. So the first boon is a skill permanent attached to a warrior hero. After attached hero is declared as the only attacker against a non-unique enemy, exhaust intimidation to give that enemy -2 defense for this attack. It's a 0 cost boon. The next boon is Hands of a Healer. It's a permanent boon attached to a healer hero, so that's good for the skilled hero boon or any other card that happens to give you that keyword. Exhaust attached hero and Hands of the Healer to heal up to 3 damage from a hero. That's actually really good, particularly if you have a character who has the healer keyword, if they picked up the skilled healer keyword on other campaign quests. As a boon, this actually expands upon that trait. If you have a character like Elrond, it's only going to make it stronger. It's a useful life-saving skill. Forewarned, attached to a ranger hero. After attached hero is declared as a defender against a non-unique enemy, exhaust Forewarned to discard 1 shadow card from that enemy. So this would combo with Tireless Ranger, or any other character that has the Ranger keyword. So after attached hero is declared as a defender against a non-unique enemy, exhaust Forewarned to discard 1 shadow card from that enemy. This is useful, such as in our campaign, Éomer has the Tireless Ranger keyword, and Éomer also typically wields Anduril, which is a good way to cancel the shadow effect. You simply exhaust this card, and 1 shadow card goes away. He can defend, and he gets a bonus to his defense, so his defense is at least at 3 or 4 if he has Anduril attached. And then he gets a counterattack, and if he has another attachment such as Firefoot, he can do trample damage where his damage overspills onto other enemies, and all that can happen while he's the defender. So that's actually a pretty good combo with the Tireless Ranger boon. Leader of Men boon, attached to a noble hero. After attached hero quest successfully exhausts Leader of Men to add 1 resource to attached hero's pool. It's a simple way to get some resource acceleration, and probably combos with the noble hero boon. In my campaign, this would be put on Idrain to add some added benefits to that boon, and kind of get a combo of boons going together. And hopefully I won't have to say the word boon too often for the rest of the video. The next boon is Beyond All Hope. This looks very dramatic as it depicts Gandalf probably in Fangorn Forest. It's permanent. It attaches to a hero, and the attached hero gets +1 willpower, attack, and defense, and cannot have the treachery card attachments. Beyond all hope, you return to us in our need. It's a favor, and yeah, it's definitely a powerful card, because if you can keep those treachery attachments off of a hero, they have a better chance at surviving, have a better chance of keeping their skills up. Yeah, it's just so nice to have a form of treachery cancellation, even if it comes as a boon. The next boon is the Palantir of Orthanc. Attached to Fellowship Aragorn. Exhaust Aragorn and Palantir of Orthanc to discard the top card of the encounter deck. If Aragorn's willpower is greater than the discarded card's threat, you may add Palantir of Orthanc to the victory display and remove it from the campaign pool to choose a player. That player reveals one fewer encounter card this phase to a minimum of 0. Interesting card. Interesting. So basically, if Aragorn's willpower beats the card's threat, you add this card to the victory display. It leaves the campaign pool, and that player reveals one fewer encounter cards this phase to a minimum of 0. It sounds, well, I'm going to have to see it in action. It sounds like it reduces, it's a one-shot to reduce the amount of encounter cards being revealed. Some pretty cool artwork as well. In playing a lot of 4-player campaign, this is useful because those encounter cards, particularly those with doomed and surge keywords, can definitely overpower you. We're moving on to the burden cards now. And so doesn't look like there's any more player cards, so that's our quick brief unboxing. Sorry I didn't give the card cost for every card, and again, I apologize for moving quickly. I'm really excited to play this campaign. I'm excited that it showed up today. And as always, game on.